Yeah, I took down the other video. I'm a little goofy at times. I get a bit silly. Um, there is a noted effect in connecting to Benico in this way. Something has come over me after having reestablished this one-on-one, face-to-face personal dialogue with her, contact with her. Something's happened to me. I can't explain what it is, but it's just something has, I get silly, I get goofy, and I shot that last video and thought, well, let's not do that. Come on. October the 6th day, I will do a live YouTube video chat and answer questions and talk about aliens and all the rest. Recently, YouTube, there's been a video that has been uploaded. It's called U.S. Army Soldier Talks About Various Alien Races from the YouTuber called Strange Things. You want to look it up. And it depicts what looks like an Army briefing. Having been in the Army, I know how these briefings look. It's basically it's a soldier standing at a chalkboard, and he's giving an intelligence briefing to other soldiers, and he's talking about the various alien races that he knows about and has either interacted with or seen. Talks a lot about the Zetas, Zeta Reticulans, from a binary star system, 38 light years away. It seems to be the main race of any interest. And they call them EBE 1 or 2. He makes references to Steven Spielberg's movie Close Encounters, and allegedly a president spoke to Steven Spielberg. It's about a 10-minute briefing. Are they real soldiers in the briefing? Well, they look real to me. We do have classrooms like that with long tables. Even after all the years I've been out, they still have those chairs and long cafeteria type tables and a chalkboard in a room. In the video, we see what's called BDUs, battle dress uniform, Class C uniform, jackets and gear and whatnot, and shirts strewn across the tables. We see crew cuts and clean-shaven guys. And of course, young guys behaving like young guys, a bit rowdy and making all kinds of sexual comments about, we want to have some cute alien race come down and have sex with them. The soldier giving the briefing looks like a ranking soldier, like a sergeant or something to that effect. Briefings can be that way. They can be different levels of intelligence briefings. Some are pretty in-depth. Some are very surface, very, it's superficial. It looked like a very superficial briefing. And we do get those kind of briefings in the Army, only when there's a need-to-know basis. There's going to be a need to know. There's something either coming up in the near future that they've got on their radar, and they need to brief low-ranking personnel that have a very low security clearance. Don't think that everybody in the Army has a high security clearance. No, they don't. I was a private in the United States Army, and I can tell you that when I went through training, basic training and advanced individual training, AIT as they call it, um, you don't have a high security clearance. But the interesting thing about this video, again, it's called U.S. Army Soldier Talks About Various Alien Races from the YouTube account called Strange Things. Have a look at it. And having been in the Army, I know a superficial briefing such as this one happens usually when a base commander, which is not always going to be a general, you're going to get maybe a brigadier general to a full-bird colonel. Base commanders, it depends on the size of the base. Battalion, company level, at a battalion level, commander, maybe a base commander. It's filtered down the line. It's some kind of orientation. It didn't look like any kind of speculation. It didn't look like they were saying X, Y, Z. To mislead the soldiers. One thing they don't do in the military is sit around and disinform each other. You need to know that this does look like a genuine military briefing for low security clearance personnel. The recruits look a bit raw, a bit fresh in the room. The guy looks like a seasoned Army soldier. He's been in a while. And they do talk like that. They're in the room, they're out of the room. And again, he's just kind of, I've seen these briefings, not about aliens, but I've seen other briefings where they'll just kind of, you don't really know the cadre, the staff sergeant talking. He'll come in, or she'll come in, have a little talk about map reading or first aid or something to do with, I know when I was in, which was eons ago, it was during the first Gulf War. I did not go to the Gulf War. Okay, I was trained during Desert Storm. I was not in it. And that was in 1991, so it's a long, long, long time ago. And the briefings we had were very similar. And they were telling us very, very superficially what to expect from Saddam Hussein's army. I'm always ready to upload any of my DD Form 214, which is my military service record. There's my 201 file. My information at the present is at the Arperson, Illinois U.S. Army Reserve Headquarters Archives, where a lot of us deadbeats that were in or out, end up Arperson, Illinois Archives, unless that's changed. I've got paperwork with me. I can always demonstrate that I don't promote it, okay? I don't go around whistling my horn. Hey, look what I did. So, yeah, I think the briefing was genuine. Why the briefing happened, couldn't tell you. Don't know. And the fact it was, like someone sat there with a mobile phone and I'm old-fashioned. We say videotaped. Okay, they recorded the briefing. Okay, cool, fine, good. Okay, and it was allowed to be put to YouTube. Okay, that's interesting. There are many ways to do something. There could be, and this is given to speculation, a way of letting you know, the public, that something is up. Something big is going on. And they're letting you know that this is real. They're kind of, in their own way, leaking it. They knew a guy was going to step in the room. They knew someone was going to record this. And they knew the third thing, it's going to go to YouTube. In fact, you hear the man at the end of the video. He says, this is going to go to YouTube. That makes it legal. And the way he says it, the way he's going on about it, these soldiers sound as if they already know in advance what they're going to do. They knew in advance what this man was going to say. It's kind of like the way they're behaving. It sounds like they're just kind of following orders. By the way, that's all we do. We don't have opinions. When you're in the Army, you're not Republican, you're not Democrat, you're a soldier. You don't have a political point of view. Okay, you don't have this. And you don't go around touting your religious affiliation either. All right? And another thing, you just follow orders. There are no ulterior motive bunches running in the military. You don't become a rich man in the military. You're not going to walk out a millionaire. But you live under their buildings. You sign the contract. You go through their training. You acclimate to a military way of life and thinking. And there's a chain of command. You deal with people at your level of your rank. You don't fraternize and hang out with and buddy up with someone above you. You don't see privates buddying around having drinks with sergeants. That's Hollywood. You don't do that. You follow orders. There are no heroes there. Heroes are dead people is what we say. There are no heroes. My views on everything else I won't get into. I have and never will ever say I went to any war. I am very proud of the fact that I never went to a war, first off. I am very happy I did not go to the Gulf War. Let me say why. And if you get these civilians who shout, "You unpatriotic asshole," let me say to you, shut your mouth, because you want to go to a war and get your hands bloody and dirty on the death of a lot of people. First, if you don't have a political point of view, you're a soldier following orders. Whether I wanted to or not, if they said go, I would have gone. And I would have followed the orders given me. I might not have liked or agreed with it. You do get conscientious objection. You can also get in a lot of trouble. In Article 15, it's called articles. You get punished. You can get the shit knocked out of you if you don't do what you're supposed to do. And that covers a lot of things. It's a very impersonal, sometimes cold way of life, man. It's not some proud, courageous shit. And our feelings and views about people that went to war, we don't see them as being different from us who didn't go. As a soldier myself, they're just soldiers that followed orders and, like ants in a colony, went to a war. It's you out there that make an issue out of it and turn it into some kind of Hollywood glamour and courage and honor. What is honor? How can you steal honor? What is honor? Tell me about honor. I don't know what honor is. I was a soldier. I just follow orders. Screw honor. I was a soldier. I followed orders. Honor is that bullshit in Hollywood. Okay, that's Hollywood glamour. You can go watch a Hollywood movie, polish your boots, and some hero with a nice, cute ass. And he's a guy out there, heroic. Put some music to it. I don't know about that. I was just a soldier. I don't have any idea about things like that. A lot of us used to say, and you may not like it in the civilian world, but we used to say, you want me to run through the forest with my... Now, we had M16A2s at the time. I don't know what they got now. I don't keep up with it. We used to say, you want me to run through the forest, drill sergeant, screaming with my weapon in my hands and hoo-ha, and you want me to crawl through mud? You want me to shout a bunch of stuff in cadence? You want me to march around and shout stuff, kill somebody, shoot hoo-ha, hoo-ha, left, right? You want me to do all that? I'll do it as long as you pay me. As long as it's a paycheck, I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll do it for a paycheck. It sounds pretty crummy, but, when you get down in the mud and the dirt and you're getting out of bed at 3:30 in the morning to get everything ready by 4 a.m. for inspection, and then you got your breakfast, unbelievably too early in the morning, 5 o'clock. Now, it was this way for us. 6 a.m. you're doing your physical training, if you're lucky. If you got it, could be a bit earlier. And by the way, you went to bed the night before at 11 o'clock. you're tired. You know, someone waved the American flag in your face, and you're gonna, you feel like beating the crap out of them. Like, look, we're all real tired, and you don't get a day to sleep in, and you got to live that life every day, and it's hard. You know, training was hard, and a lot of us cried, wanted to go home. Some guys wanted to hurt themselves, hurt others. We had nightmares. The building I was in my basic training, I'm sure was haunted. I know that thing was haunted. I know it was. I heard all kinds of noises in the middle of the night, in empty rooms down the hall. Nobody should be down there. You know, we saw things. You know, there were privates that shouted at drill sergeants, said things that they shouldn't have said. Oh, it's not about do some push-ups and shout in their face. No, they took them down in the basement. 8 or 9 drill sergeants made somebody's life for the next couple of hours a living hell. And we don't know what they did to them down in that basement. And they came out, you know, they were told don't talk about it. But those soldiers were never the same. Now at the time, the senior drill sergeant, the first sergeant above him, said we were being prepped and ready for the Gulf War, and they told us at the end of our training that you got a little more infantry than other trainees prior to you, because we were prepping you for combat in the Gulf War. So a lot of what I'm saying for some of you vets is going to resonate and some ain't. But you know, then again, I don't feel sorry. I mean, we weren't draftees. We signed on the dotted line. We wanted to do this. We had to grow up and get the maturity to accept the decisions we made. And I was 18 years old. And you know, I don't want to talk about that. Some of the other things that happened, I don't. The Gulf War, during my training, there were many of them coming home, and they came through an Air Force base. I don't want to drop names, and that Air Force base was connected to our U.S. Army installation, our base that was near it, and they had to transit through that Air Force base, and they needed barracks to stay in, so they stayed in our barracks. They were fresh out of the Gulf War, and I was put on detail with handling care packages that were sent in by civilians that contained a lot of candy and goods and letters from kids, things like that. It was very nice, and I was very happy to help in that regard. I was very proud to serve in that regard. And I was a teenage kid. I was scared. Most of the time I was just scared. And I can remember we got drilled all the time with TRADOC command. You know, you got to really understand the levels of chain of command, and you don't look an officer in the face. You don't. Your drill sergeant's not your buddy. A private is someone you can talk to, but you know, often they were assholes, and everybody was sometimes it was every man for himself. It was lots of that. You had to watch yourself. And so we were drilled all the time. Stay in line, know your place, know your place, know your place. And then, you know, you see rank on people's collar. You don't care if it's a man or woman. You're staring at this. And you see captains and lieutenants and sergeant drills, you know, staff sergeants, sergeants, sergeant first class, sergeant majors. Well, no, you didn't see sergeant majors on that base. You did rarely. Not often. You didn't want to see a sergeant major unless you were trying to get out of there. Command sergeant major, you didn't. So, okay, and they were specialists, E4s and all like that. Well, then came a day, hundreds, maybe several thousand of these fresh Gulf War vets were coming out of this Air Force base. They just came in from the Gulf, fresh out. They were still in their desert camouflage uniforms. And I was standing in the street outside my barracks. By then I was 19, and my drill sergeant was watching. And they were walking down the street, to find their prospective building, their barracks they're going to stay in. And immediately I got hit with the fact that not were they just wearing desert camouflage, but they were all smiling. They weren't marching. They weren't in any way marching. They were just like, it was like a parade of people, happy people. They were just, they were so happy to be alive, to be home, to go home to their families. And then you notice some of them were having nerve issues. They were twitching. And twitching a lot. They got into something. I don't know. Later in the years, we heard the Gulf War illness, but at the time, I don't know that. And I found myself immediately surrounded by them. I just kept standing there. And I'm wearing green camouflage. I'm in my BDU's Class C uniform. And I was working the detail in the barracks to get their care packages ready for them. I had a few of them walk right up to me, staff sergeants. And there was a lieutenant, there was a captain. I came to the position of attention, saluted the officer, and the sergeant came up to me and I stood at parade rest. At the position of parade rest, you have to, when you're addressing a cadre as sergeant and you're a private, you have to stand at a position and don't look at them. It's an afternoon staff sergeant, and she reached out and grabbed my arm. She grabbed my other arm, and she put her arms around me and she hugged me. "You don't have to do that," she said. "It's okay." This captain that was walking up gave me a pat in the back. He said, thanks, son, thank you. It's okay. You don't have to salute. It's okay." They were still serving soldiers. They were not out of the military yet. And every one of those people on the road, they were just glad to be home. The war was over. These are all the people that were sent to a war that, by all rights, like all wars in history, could have killed them. Could have killed us all. And if they had all died in this war, we were certainly going to go. I looked across the street at my drill sergeant, big guy, muscly fella. By then he had taken off that hat of theirs, that round. And I thought, I'm gonna get nailed for this. I'm standing here fraternizing with people that outrank me. As a drill sergeant. And he had tears in his eyes. And he looked down at the ground. He said, "Carry on, private. Just carry on. Carry on." In other words, don't look at him. Don't look at him. He said, "Just carry on, private. Carry on." I'm all right now. I paused the video. I'm alright. The October 6th, 2018, Saturday night, I will be live. I'm going to do this video, and then I'm going to do another one. I didn't mean to waffle on like that, but I guess blogging doesn't have to always be about aliens, does it? But, you know, if you make these many videos and you got people listening, you want them to kind of get to know you. And so this is going to be this is good for that. You know, some of the memories that kick around in my head. Some things, it's called the unforgettable moments of a lifetime. You're not going to forget about things like that. I've had recurring dreams of it for some reason. I don't know why, but to see all these people that outrank you behaving so happy to be home haunted me for so much. You know that to do that to soldiers, to turn them into these kind of people, a war does something to anybody. And they knew they were facing their death. They were going to face death. And they were glad to be home. Anyways, October 6th, 2018. Come out and watch. I'm going to talk about Beniko and what she means to me, and the love, and how much I love her, and that we love each other. And recently we've had a tremendous amount of contact, face-to-face contact. I can't say it enough. It has been beautiful. It's been wonderful. I've never been happier. Okay, in closing, thank you for watching this video. October 6th, 2018. Thank you very much. I'll do another video after this on another topic. More debriefing on experiences with mantids and things. And it has been a wonderful year, I have to say, in reflection. The year's not over yet, but there's still more to come, and I'm very, very, very happy, very, very excited, elated, euphoric, pleased. And for a moment, reflecting, I had the video paused. I was talking out loud to Beniko, and I'm like, how could you love someone like me? I am a grunt, an old middle-aged infantry grunt. What the fuck you, why would you? How could you ever love someone like me?